Well, hello, everybody. It's me. There we go. So, how is everybody today? So, a lot I want to say, but I don't know if it's going to mean anything. But I'll kind of let people come in a little bit. But I got a lot to say because there's a lot that I recently found out. But at the end of the day, probably doesn't matter because no one's going to believe anything anyway, because that's how YouTube works. No matter what you say, everybody will always find a way to dismiss it. So I'll do the best I can, but I don't know if it even matters. But so first, how is everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. It is 70 degrees in California. 70 degrees. Yeah. And next week, we're going to Tahoe. So it's 70 degrees here. And in next week, we're going to drive to snow. But that's why I love California. I can be here, I can go to the beach in a few hours, I can go to Tahoe in a few hours, you can get warmth, cold, whatever. But anyway, so I had a good weekend, and I also actually had people email me and talk to me, and I honestly had no idea that people were so hurt by anything that transpired at the end of last year. Because, and this is, and people will probably, I don't believe her, but I haven't watched anything. I have not. So I had no idea that anything was going on other than all these mean, nasty videos. So if anyone was hurt by anything, I am so sorry. I mean, people who know me know I would never hurt anyone intentionally. So if I knew people were hurt, I would never do that on purpose. I mean, this is just the thing. I can say what I want, but I'm sure everyone's going to piece it apart. And, everybody wants an apology, but once I give it, it'll be oh no, that wasn't enough. Or, oh no, so I feel like no matter what I say, I'm going to be wrong. So I'm just going to say it. And whoever wants to go with it, goes with it. If you don't, you don't. But I honestly have not watched anything from the day I left to when I came back on December 30th. Because why would I? Why would I? So you can believe me or you can't. I mean, we all know when people used to talk about me, I would make videos about it and haven't made anything about it. I mean, I don't want to know. It's not healthy for me. So I haven't. So all I knew was what I was told, which is there's all these mean, nasty videos. And, I can see in my mentions, there's all these things, but I don't actually read them. I just kind of see, and I see the first few words and then I ignore it. So I had no idea there was this big conundrum of people hurt by what went on. So if anybody was hurt, I'm really, really sorry. I would never intentionally do that. I mean, I've never started anything with anybody on here. And the people who know me know I'm a good responder, but I'm not a starter. So, I mean, again, if you were hurt, I'm sorry. But on another hand, I don't know what I can do, which is why I decided there's nothing I can say. So I'm not even going to try. So I'm just going to move on. So, thinking there were all these people mad, I just figured I'm going to ignore that and move on. But if people are hurt, I'm really sorry about that. But at the end of the day, it's not healthy to dwell on that. So I want to offer my apology, and I'll explain the best I can. Kind of a little, I mean, the last live, I said it all. I said exactly what happened. So I don't know how people are still, she didn't say anything. I mean, I said exactly what happened without giving personal information, of course, but I'll kind of maybe give a little more detail, but I'm not going to go, in anything specific, because people are going to believe what they want to believe. That's how it is on YouTube. I mean, I think it's kind of like actors and actresses. The people who go to aspire to be an actor or actress already has a certain kind of mental state. Mostly they're probably narcissists to want to do that and give up all their freedom and able to walk into a grocery store unbothered and all that stuff. But there's a certain kind of person that goes to do that. And I think there's a certain kind of person that wants to be online. I mean, being online, you just know you're going to get hate. People are going to dox you. You have to know all that. And that's why most people don't show you their faces and because when people can hate anonymously, they do it. So, that's why I kind of decided anything I say is going to be picked apart as wrong. So I'm just not going to say anything. But again, if you were hurt by it, I'm sorry. But I'll kind of explain things from my side, and hopefully that makes more sense. And, at the end of the day, though, for my own mental health, I have to be like, if you don't like me, don't like me. That's fine. Like, I don't care. I do, but, if you don't like me, I'm not going to try and change your mind, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, if you don't like me, I'm not going to try and beg you or try and want you to change your mind. If you, great, agree to disagree, fine, split. But, I'm going to do my thing but I'll explain a little bit about it. But, so I'll explain a little bit more, but I'm not going to get into, I had people actually email me, and, there's this talk about I should give my medical record. Like, who gives their medical records? Like, I can't believe anybody would think that that's even a possibility. Like, in what world should you do that? I mean, I live in a really small, tight-knit community, and when something bad happens to somebody, we gather around them. During the fires, if you knew somebody whose house burnt down, you would give them food, let them stay with you. I mean, we're really, we help people when tragedies happen. But you would never go into a town hall meeting and be like, I have, cancer, and it's, you would never die, here's my medical, you would never do that to, people who are strangers, but part of your community that you see and say hi to. I mean, you just wouldn't do it. So I'm not going to do it here. So when people say that, no, I'm not going to do that. That's just kind of ridiculous. It's like going to the movies and standing up and telling everyone, I have high blood pressure and this is you just wouldn't do it. So I'm not going to do that, but I'll try and explain what happened. And again, I people, want an apology, but I have a feeling even though they get it, they're still just going to try and tear it down. So we'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully once everyone hears it, they can accept it and we can all just move on, because I'm tired of, getting emails. This one talked about you, this one. I just want it to go away. I mean, it's not necessary and it's not good for anybody. So, my goal here is not to change minds, get back into some community. I mean, I'm not a drama channel. I'm not a true crime channel. So I don't, anyway, I just want to do my own thing with people who like me and move on. So this is the last I'm going to talk about it because people are still talking about it. So whatever caused my illness obviously was very severe. It is obvious that during the course of the entire last year, something was wrong with me. I was very ill, and it was a progressive illness. And like I said, I'm not giving medical records. I'm not telling the world what's going on with me, but obviously something was wrong. There was a serious medical issue, and I was gone for 3 months dealing with it, and I came back healthy. And people should accept that. You would think in an ideal world, people would say, oh, that person is going through a medical crisis. Now she's better. She almost died. We'll kind of like not try and, go at her. I mean, I'm still really fragile physically and mentally. I've been through a lot. So and that's why I don't look at stuff. It's not healthy. I don't need to see it. I don't need to look at it. So I don't, and I used to, but I'm just simply just, like in the real world, if you knew somebody took out a page 4 editorial and did a whole like half page on how much they disliked you because you were their neighbor, would you read it? No, you would ignore it. I mean, what are all, like, not that I'm an actress, but, what are all the, Hollywood people say? Don't read the comments. Like, don't read the comments. Don't, I don't read bad stuff. So I had a very serious illness. And obviously something was going on. And mid-October, it kind of peaked. And I had my live. And let me just say, I really have no memory of October. October is a complete blur to me because my brain, your brain doesn't function when you don't get enough oxygen. You get confused, you get like disoriented, you don't remember things. I mean, that was all, you look horrible. I mean, I had all, like, you look at the symptoms, I had all of them. And I was in intensive care for around 3 weeks. And in the beginning of November, I finally, got out of intensive care to the regular hospital. And I was there for, I think, 24 days. And I got home the beginning of December. And that was when my family and I had a talk. And my family was like, no more QUEENOG, because that's a toxic environment, which it is. It's a very toxic environment when at any time point you can find something someone is saying to look shame you, body shame you, call you, doing substances, like what, hurting children. I mean, at any time point you can hear horrible, horrible things about yourself. It's a toxic, toxic world on YouTube. So my whole family was like, that was a bad scene. That was very toxic for you. You got way too in deep on it. Like, you just got to give it up. It's not mentally healthy. It's not physically healthy. Like, we almost lost you. Just give it up. And so what I decided to do was, this is my hobby. I'm a retired stay-at-home mom. I like doing my little things for, a few hours a week. And that's fun for me. And I like doing it. And again, I don't do it for anyone. I never meant to have a YouTube channel and da-da-da. So I don't care if 5 people watch me or 5,000 people, as long as the people watching are interested in what I have to say. And in the future, I'm going to do all sorts of stuff. Hey, how you doing, Hush Puppy? I know. Well, I'm just going to explain it. I'm going to do my one due diligence, because I honestly had no idea that there was this hurt factor, and you can believe me or not, but I did not look at anything. I mean, why would I? When you're in that, I mean, when you almost die, the last thing you want to do is go watch a whatever, 2 hour, 1 hour, whatever video all about how much you suck and you're a horrible person. Like, why in the world, after everything I've been through, would I do that? I wake up every day and I do gratitudes. I talk about what I'm grateful for. I've learned forgiveness. I've learned to just be one with the universe. I've kind of found some spirituality. I got a second chance. I'm not going to waste it. So I don't want to look at that stuff. Like when I click through comments, there's the mentions, and I see all these things of people like yapping. And, I see the first few words and they're mean. And I'm like, don't even look at it. I don't click on it. I don't want to, it's just, it is. So I'm going to say my sorries and we'll see if it stops. Because if people honestly just want to hear the real story and have me apologize, and I do that, and they're still complaining, then they just want to complain. So hopefully after this, it'll stop and I can go in my new direction and we can all be done with all this stuff, because I really don't need all this yippity yap on here. I mean, I would love to be the poster child for rehab, but I'm not. I mean, first of all, I have a friend who went to rehab. It's a 90% fail rate. So what are the chances that if that was where I went, that I'm just like perfect now? I mean, that usually doesn't happen. People don't, it's not like you go in for a surgery and you come out and you're fine. Like, you don't go in there and just come out miraculously like done, or at least 90% of the people don't. So, I mean, when you really think about things, they don't make a whole lot of sense. But, I would love to be the poster child for that, but I'm not. And again, I'm not going to get into like exactly, what was wrong with me, because that's personal business. I'm not going to show my like, I've heard people, well, she would have shown that. No, I wouldn't have. That's ridiculous. So I don't want any of this talk anymore. Like, I really wish people would stop saying those things, because unless you have a picture of me doing something or a receipt for me buying something, I mean, like, there's no, like, just stop. I mean, it's not bad to do that, but I don't really live a life where that's acceptable. So, like, that would never, I mean, it's just, like, I can't have that flying around. That's just not a good thing to be saying. So I just really want that to stop. But so here's the deal. I had my live. I was rushed to the hospital, into the ER. And I spent about 3 weeks in intensive care. And then I got transferred, to just the regular hospital. And I was there for like 24 days. I really have no memory of October. And I have a kind of memory of November. But I do remember waking up in a hospital bed, having no idea where I was, why I was there, what day it was. I missed a whole election. I had no idea there was an election going. Like, I had no idea. I mean, my brain was just wackoed, and videos getting all kooky. Let me know. Oh, there we go again. And had my December, and then I decided I want to start making some videos, So my family and I talked about it, and December 30th, I came back, tried to fix all the screw ups on there. I noticed that memberships were like taken off, and then I think my channel was like hidden and then put back. And since the membership videos were at Patreon, so they were unlisted here, then they all like kind of went public. I mean, the whole channel was like, they were like open, which those because Patreon screwed that up. So like the whole channel was a fucky done. So I fixed all that, made my video, and then that was it. And then, there's all this more stuff, and then I'm live and people are just, and it's just like, and, as much as I tell the story, I don't think anyone's going to believe it anyway, because people don't want to, like, people have, and this is what happens in life and we all go through this, whether you're in elementary school or high school or whatever, but we all go through periods where there's like somebody who doesn't like you. Yeah, I mean, my family, I mean, they thought I was gonna, there was a time period where it, like, that was expected, it was like, she's, not gonna make it. And that's a horrible thing for people to have to go through, And then, I wake up and I'm like, I have no idea, like, what, where have I been? What day is it? It's a different month. Like, holy crap. Like, I'm clueless. So it was horrible. It was a horrible time, And so being in that situation, then having all these people like, and people will pick apart anything. And that's the thing. If somebody doesn't like you and has this predisposition and this, thought of who you are, they're not going to change it no matter what you say. Like, no matter what you say, they're going to find a little loophole in it and grab it and then find a way that, like, oh, that means she's wrong. You know, like, I asked people when, somebody emailed me and told me, about the hurt thing. And I was like, I had no idea. And, they started telling me like things people were saying. And, I guess there's this, no one would drive to the emergency room. Why didn't you take an ambulance? That makes no sense. So she didn't go. Well, I'm a 4-minute drive from the hospital. So me being driven there is faster than calling 911, having them call the hospital, have the guys get into the ambulance and get ready, having them drive to my house and them drive. I mean, takes like 3 times the time. So yeah, my husband drove to the ER. We didn't call an ambulance. Like, that means I'm lying. I heard like, oh, I don't have a scar on my neck. I was intubated. I didn't have a tracheotomy. I was intubated. Why would I have a scar there? I heard, oh, your hair. Well, whoever said I shaved my head, they had to do a couple connectors. So they had to do little spots. And I thought everyone knew were extensions. And if you ever watch Britney Spears, you need about a half inch of hair or less to put an extension in. Remember that in the 2000s when she was all cucamonga? Yeah. So, I mean, like, oh, she's not bald. She's lying. No, little spots. You wear extensions. It covers, these are the things that people like go and read into, and they find a way that they think they're right. And then they go for it. And, it's not just me. Like, everybody goes through this at some point in their life where they have people who just don't like them for whatever reason, And if people think that I've hurt them, I'm sorry for that. I would never intentionally hurt anyone, But if you look at it from my side, I'm not sure how better I could have handled it, So, hey, Mr. Pork, how are you? How are the Steelers doing? I haven't watched. We're getting ready to go to Tahoe next week. So, and the kids got back to school this week. So, it's been a busy week. And some of them have hurt. So, yeah, I mean, it is pretty, it is not a nice feeling to know that you're sick. I mean, for whatever reason, even if I'm lying about the reason and they're right, whatever it is, there's someone who's very, very ill, who's clearly gone because they're not here anymore. Like, clearly they're in a hospital for whatever reason. And given that, no matter what, you should have some sort of empathy, I would think. I mean, if I knew someone was very ill, obviously kind of like at the end of their rope, probably in the hospital, I wouldn't be going after them. Like, I wouldn't be sitting there, calling them a fucking fake bitch or whatever. I'm not talking about specifics, so I'm not going to be answering questions like that, just so you know. I've never had a tracheotomy in my life. So there's that. If I did, I would have a scar. I don't have a scar. So, hey, KK, how are you doing? So, like I said, I had my live, which I don't even remember having at all. I saw that you emailed me and I didn't have a chance to email you back. I didn't even read it yet, actually. I know I'm really bad, but we're trying to get out to Tahoe next week. So we're trying to do it. So I will look at it tonight and I will email you and we can talk some bird things. But I mean, whether you believe me or not, like, everyone wants me to tell the truth. This is the truth. I've heard, oh, she took her oxygen on her toe. Yes, I have acrylics and they're really long. I got that idea from the doctor because they couldn't take it. Sometimes they have the really long one that I can put, like, I went to the doctor today and they had a really long one. I could put my whole finger in there. But a lot of times they have the short one and they would have to cut it. So I know the photo you're talking about, and it was of me. I hate to tell you, I have no makeup on. my eyelashes are off, my hair is like slicked back and it's blurred and everything because it was, funkiness. But I hate to tell you, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, this is why when I came back, I didn't do stuff like this. I didn't do the like tell all question and answer, because no matter what I say or what I do, no matter how much I explain the truth, there are going to be people who just have decided, like they've decided, I'm not bald, so it didn't, and they, no matter what, oh yeah, extensions, no, your hair wouldn't, they'll find any reason to poo-poo that. So I feel, even though, what I've been told is that people just want an apology and to, see me kind of explain more and humble myself, I have a feeling that, because that's a really mature thing to do, like just explain and, everybody, it'll be okay. Just, say what you did and apologize and forgive you and move on. But I don't think that's it. I think people just want to hate, and no matter what I say, it's going to be like Pearl here. No matter what I say, it's going to be, what about this? What about this? What about this? Well, this, well, that, it's just going to be never ending, which is why I'm not going to answer negative things. Because if, I like me, hate me, whatever, but believe it or not, hey, Daily Meander, how are you? I didn't do anything, Pearl. You're not listening. And basically not accepting what I say. Like, I can, that's the thing. I can sit here and tell the truth of the matter till I'm blue in the face. And the people who have their minds made up are not going to be satisfied until I tell a lie and tell them what they want to hear. Yeah. I mean, the way it should be is, you're kind of a stranger to me, so obviously you were sick, no matter what it was from, and now you're better, and I'm happy for you. Let's move on. See, it's question, like, it's just going to be like that. I'm not saying anything. There was a shit show that went down. I mean, my family was like, YouTube killed her. Like, they really thought, like, I'm there hanging on for life, and they're like, we don't think she's gonna, YouTube killed her. I mean, saying that isn't meaning I'm already gone, but it's just like, I think that's how they felt. Like, and that's why we had this discussion about me not coming back, because they're like, YouTube is very toxic, and we don't want you to get sucked in and have that negativity around you, because YouTube will kill you. YouTube will take you out. I mean, I went through a great deal of trauma, and I'm lucky to be here. And at this point in my life, I don't need any negativity. I don't need, people saying I'm doing something illegal that I'm not. When I volunteer at a school, that's just something that is not okay to say. It's just not okay to say, I mean, one of my good friends, her husband is a cop, it's just not okay to say and put that out into the world. I mean, my town has less people than my subscribers. It's a very, very small town. It is. I mean, and that's the thing. People say, oh, we want you to tell the truth and apologize. Well, I just did that, and I'm still getting, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Because they're not listening to the 20 things that I say that make sense to what I'm saying. They're picking out this one weird thing that they think will prove that I'm wrong. Like, I could like show, like, even like, let's say I showed like some medical stuff, right? people would, hey, Money Moose, how are you? Oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you in so long. Gosh, I've missed you. You know, you don't realize you miss people till you see them after. I don't think I've seen you in about a year. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing really well too. And yeah, there's some chaos going on, but it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I have the right to be here and I have the right to say I'm in a bit of a fragile position because I just went through a lot. You know, I saw the light flash before my eyes or whatever. You know, I pretty much had 2 months of my life just out of my brain, don't remember it. You know, like October and November, like, whoo, don't know what happened there. Kind of don't remember that too much. I mean, I literally woke up and I'm like, I'm in the hospital. I don't know where. I don't know why. I don't know what day it is. And I had no idea there was an election. No idea. Because I don't watch the regular news. I either would watch YouTube or Netflix. So, and the whole year was like a gradual progression of me getting sicker and sicker. So, I mean, I honestly had no idea that it was election year. And so once I woke up, I had about like 4 days where I was just like, I, you know, couldn't sit up. I like didn't eat. I pretty much laid in bed for like 4 days straight. You know, I started to get like bed sores almost because my shoulders are kind of bony and I would lay on the side and my bone like juts out and I actually got like a little bed sore thing from it. I used to have like a little scar in there, but anyway, I mean, you know, and then I was like, there was an election. I missed the whole thing. We have a new, like, holy crap, you know, and that's a traumatic thing to go through. And my family went through a traumatic thing. So then to come on here and it's nothing but like hate. And again, people are like, just apologize and tell the truth. Well, even if I do that, it's still going to be, you know, even if I showed medical, it would be like, no, that's not yours. No, you doctored it. Like who in the hell would, I mean, it's just crazy. Who in, like, I'm sorry. Like, I guess I look a lot different without all the chenille on and the big hairs and, you know, whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. No, I have gotten to a place, just say you or I did have something. Yeah. I mean, if that was a problem, I would say fine. I'd love to be the next poster child for it, but it's not true and it never has. I mean, that's something Hopi started saying. Like, she was the first person to try and tell people that when she was going after me and she doxed me all this stuff. And she spread that rumor out and it's been going ever since with nothing. Like, you know, there are a lot of creators that I've seen do stuff on their lives, like accidental. Like, I've never done, like, you know, and I don't live a life where it's okay to have that narrative surrounding me. It's just, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just something that isn't copacetic in my life right now. So, you know, having all these people saying it when it's a lie, and it's been years. I mean, people have been saying this for years, you know? I mean, and it just doesn't stop, no matter what. No proof, they just say it. Like, every little thing that I have, it's like, you know, it's just ridiculous. But Money Moves, I wake up every day, and the first thing I do is I got Sam the cat, and we do our gratitudes. And we sit and we talk about what we're grateful for today. Because, you know, I feel like I've been getting, you know, they really, you know, I almost died. So, you know, I'm really grateful that I'm still here because I shouldn't be. And, you know, then we slowly wake up and we have our smoothie and go outside and smell the air. And, you know, I make a list of what to do today. And I live a very peaceful, relaxing, loving life. I mean, I am done with the drama and the hate and the crap. I don't want it. I'm not going to want, like, you know, everybody thinks that if someone makes something about you, you had to have watched it. Why would I subject myself to watching crap like that? Like, why? Like, oh, what are you doing tonight? I'm going to watch 3 hours of someone just talking shit about me. No. I mean, is it more believable that I watch it or I don't watch it? I'm sorry. I've kind of gone back to being a normal person in the real world. Like, I'm not going to watch crap about myself. I mean, they're all lies and, you know, like people just calling me the B word and F this. I mean, it's just like high school, middle school crap. Like, I'm 52. I don't want to listen to that. So last day, I watched Cobra Kai or Squid Games with my kids. Got a new series, The Recruit, on Netflix. Season 2 is coming out January 30th. Like, that's what I'm going to do at night. I'm not going to listen to bad crap about myself, you know? But so again, you can believe it or not, but I came back December 30th, saw my channel was all a mess. Like, the memberships were turned off. And then to keep my channel monetized, I have to give new AdSense. So I decided not to update my AdSense. So I took off monetization the end of December and then fixed all the stuff because all the membership videos were out for some reason. And then I uploaded my video. I didn't watch anybody. I didn't listen to anybody, you know. I had heard that there were all these mean things about me and I could see in my mentions all this stuff, but you know, I read like the first 3 words and it was, you know, I was like, whoop, delete, not going to watch that, you know. So I had no idea there was anything more to this than people just going after me for like being a liar and having a different problem than I had. I had no idea that there was this big hurt because of me. And I'm really sorry if anyone was hurt. I would never want that. But I mean, all I can do is say what really happened. And I don't think people want to believe that. I really don't. You know, people, it's really great to say, oh, all we want is her to tell the truth and apologize. But when I do that, then that's not good enough, you know? So I don't think people want to just, you know, be happy. You know, I think people, you know, people like the fight. Oh, have fun at bingo, KK. And I hope you had all from yourself. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. You know, I mean, if you look at me throughout the year, there's a progressive something going on, you know, I had all the symptoms, you know, and then people are like, oh, she took her, like, I didn't need to show my oxygen, but, you know, it was in the 70s and I looked like crap. I was confused. It's obvious my brain wasn't working. So obviously oxygen wasn't getting somewhere. People were like, oh, she wasn't huffing and puffing. It's happened over a year. You know, I think my body slowly got used to, you know, making myself do certain things and then letting other things just go by the wayside. Like, you know, but again, everybody wants to believe what they want to believe. So I think no matter how many times I say differently, I don't really think it matters, but we're going to see because hopefully this should satisfy everyone. I mean, I can't, you know, I'm not going to lie and just tell you what you want to hear. I mean, I'm sorry that you're not right about what you think I had, but you're not. And I know things were crazy. I know things were crazy and things weren't handled well. But again, I mean, all I can do is say, yeah, I don't even remember October. That was a shit show of a life. And after that, I was rushed to the ER. You know, it was very touch and go. I was there for quite a long time. You know, I woke up in the hospital in November, no freaking clue what happened. No idea that an election happened. I mean, like, imagine that. Like, that, you know. And then, you know, I'm like, talking about in my, my family's like, we don't think you should do that. There's all this stuff, and we don't, you're not in a place where you should look at that. That's not healthy, and I was like, well, I like doing my stuff, so it's like, okay, as long as you don't look at that stuff. I mean, it sounds like I'm a 5-year-old that I'm like, you can't look at that, but I mean, it's true. Like, I just need to cut that part out of my life. It's not healthy. And I think a lot of people in the community, it's funny because so many people say they hate the drama. They hate the drama. They don't like the drama. But then that's all they run to, like, I'm just sitting here saying, whatever you think of me is fine. I'm sorry. And I'm telling you what happened. And you can believe it or you can't. And that's fine. That's totally, totally fine. And if you don't, then just part ways maturely and amicably. Like, you don't have to be talking crap. I mean, that's so Trailer Park High School. Like, so just why? It's like, why do you need to make sure I'm torn down? You're never going to do this. We're going to make. Who made anybody head over someone else to say what they can or can't do on YouTube? I mean, there's like 50 billion YouTube channels. So everyone's like, this community what? There's like billions of people, I mean, I'm not in the drama community. I'm not in true crime community. Yeah, a lot of my subscribers went to other channels. But I mean, I never felt like I was in that community. My community was me and the people who supported me. That was my community. Like, I don't feel like I was in a community with other creators. Like, people make it sound as if I was in some group with all these other creators and we were like friendly and, I hurt them. All those creators who were talking about me couldn't stand me beforehand and talk crap about me beforehand. So trust me, they weren't hurt by anything I said. They loved it. It was entertaining. So, I mean, I'm not in a community with people who hate me. Trust me. My community is not encircled with people who don't like me in it. They're not part of my community. So I don't know. Like, they have their community. That's great. But my community does not involve any of those creators. Like, would your little group of friends in high school consist of like your bullies? I mean, the you hurt me is just making. Yeah. I mean, I am truly sorry if anybody felt hurt by anything. I mean, it was a horrible situation. I would never intentionally hurt anybody. I mean, look at me on this platform. I have never started anything with anybody. Like, I have responded to people, but if you really look at the truth, I have never started a situation with anybody. People have started after me, and after a while, I come back, which is my right. But I'm not a bully. I'm not a stalker. I'm not a troll. I do my own thing. And I have all of this group that doesn't like me. And they're in a community. They're in a little community of like the anti-OGs. And that's fine. But I'm not part of that community. I'm not in a community with people who hate me. So don't say like, how dare she say this to the community? Well, the little circle you're in of people who hate me is not my community. Sorry, but it's not. And to be honest, while I will apologize and while I will explain myself, I'm not going, like, I don't need to tell anyone anything. And I don't owe anyone anything. Like, I don't owe any other creators anything. These are people who for a long time have just been talking shit about me. So you're not owed anything. You're like a little hater. So you don't deserve anything, let alone some explanation or me to prove myself or, me to, think I'm getting away with something for the, like, no, no, no. My community is me and the people who like me, and that's it. And everyone outside of that, all the people who don't like me, they are not in my community. Trust me, and it's sad that I feel a lot of people listen to all the hate and they believe that and have now decided I'm something that I'm not. And, that's really sad that people actually, hey, Jackie Jude, how are you, sweetheart? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have been, all it took was I made a video that was not about somebody and they thought it was, and they started trashing me for that. And then my BFF at the time did a live and said, because that person then started talking crap about how I made a video about them, which it wasn't. But then my BFF at the time did a live and said, oh, do you know this one's talking about you? And she started looking body shaming the other creator. And I was just in chat and I didn't say anything. But then the next live, it was that creator and OG are coming at. So then I was a bully in addition to making this video. And, and then it just went from there. And it took me 2 years before I made my first video about that person, believe it or not. A lot of people say, oh, she made a video about, no, like a lot of people think a lot of videos are about them and they're not, but it's true. Hush puppy, you're on. But it's true. I feel like no matter what I say, it'll be something else. Like people say, oh, who drive? You would have had an ambulance. You wouldn't drive. I'm 4 minutes from the hospital. It's faster to drive than to wait for the ambulance to get ready, drive to my house, get me out, drive much faster, 4 minutes, 15 minutes. I've had ambulances to my house. It takes about 15 minutes. 4 minutes is much better. But, I explained that one, and that's like, well, you put your thing on the toe. Okay, I have acrylics. I can't read on my finger. Did it on my finger. I got no reading. I put it on my toe. They actually do that at the doctor's office because of my nails. One time they made me cut it, but the rest of the times they just put it on my toe. She said it was 50 and she showed 77. Okay. Like obviously my oxygen wasn't always 50. It regulated, but it was always far enough under the norm that there was a problem going on. Yeah, it's totally true. It's totally true. And, it is what it is. I can't change anything. I can't change the last, 2.5 months. I can't. I'm not going to lie and tell people what they want to hear and, just to like have people like me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I am unapologetically me. And that is part of the reason people don't like me, is because I don't care. I'm just me and I don't care. Like me, hate me, I don't care. I'm not going to change for anybody. I'm not going to grovel. I'm not going to, give my medical, like, who gives their medical records? And someone left a comment on my video and they're like, you're just upset because another creator called me average looking. Okay, so again, for the millionth time, I have yet to watch any other creators' videos from my live to now. I've watched Lexusant, which he does shark eating videos. I've watched other videos of other things, but I have not watched any of these videos by any of these people because it's not good for me. It's not good for me. A month ago, I was just getting home after being gone for like a month and a half. Like, I'm not in a headspace where I want to be hearing all that crap. Like, I just don't. So I'm not going to look at it. Does that not make sense that someone doesn't want to look at 3 hours of like, you know? And yeah, the same people do. And that's why they're in the drama community, because they want drama. And that's fine. But I'm not a drama creator. I'm not drama. I'm not. I'm comedy and entertainment. And I talk about social issues in my live streams and through comedy. But I'm not a drama channel. I mean, yeah, I got sucked into responding to people, which, that's why I don't look at it anymore, because I don't want to be tempted to respond. Because when you hear someone talking crap about you, you want to respond, right? That's normal. That's natural. When you hear someone saying, oh, geez, that's a rah, 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 you want to be like, ah, and give it back, So, but if you don't look at it, I mean, I'm a normal human being. Of course it hurts to hear negative things about myself. I mean, I would be a psychopath if I didn't have emotion. Of course, nobody likes, seeing, oh, there was 10 hours of video saying how much they hate me this week. Nobody likes to sit there listening and looking through comments and seeing people who used to like them now talking shit. Nobody likes to see that. I mean, if you guys like Hush Pop, like if you guys knew, like Jackie Jude, if there was a live for hours all about how much you sucked, would you want to watch it or would you not? I think you would probably not want to watch it. So is it a big surprise that I don't want to watch it? I mean, I'm not responding to it. So, before I kind of needed to listen to it because I would make a little like skit about it, but I'm not going to do that anymore. So there's no purpose for me to watch it unless I just want to bring myself down. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised people do watch it, to be honest. Like, oh, this person just made, 2-hour live shitting all over you. Oh, wait, that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to get some popcorn and light a fire, and I'm going to watch that person talk shit about me and drag me through the mud, right? They must realize there's no person. I mean, and that's the thing. I think a lot of creators get way too much into numbers and statistics. Like, my memberships were taken off, and then I had to update my AdSense to stay monetized. And I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go like I did in the beginning. I'm not gonna update my AdSense. I'm gonna let my monetization go. If I want it back, I can get it back at any time. But I just want to get back to what I was doing, which was making videos as a hobby that were just funny and like hanging out with my peeps. I remember when I had like 100 subs, like I was like, oh my God, I have 100 people who like me. Like, oh my God. Like, if you think about it, that's a lot of people, 200 people who like you, and I'd get like 50 views. I'd be like, oh my God, 50 random people watch me. I mean, it's not about like how much. Thank you, Jackie. We need to talk one of these days. I haven't talked to you in like a year. Oh my God. I hope you're okay. I so wanted to just say something, but it's an inside joke, so I won't say it. But I'll say it to you on the phone. Like, maybe we can talk. Oh, well, I got to pack a little bit tonight. I got to start packing. But maybe we can talk late tonight. Anyway, talk later. But, I mean, I don't remember what I was saying. But, I just want to get back to having fun. And if you think about it, I'm going to do the same thing, whether there are 100 people who watch it or 1,000 people who watch it. I'm still doing the same thing. So, it really shouldn't matter to you how many people watch it. As long as there are people who like it. I mean, I don't look at the number per se. I look at like impression conversion. Like, so there's an impression and then there's a click-through rate. I look at that. I look at like percent of video viewed. Like, I don't care if 100 or 1,000 people watch it, but if I have a 20% click-through rate and people watch 80% of a video, that's good. That means they like it. And those are the numbers that are important, not the actual like, tally. Because, how many people want to have 100 friends? You at this point in life, you'd probably rather have 2 best friends than 100 acquaintances. I'm the same way. I live in a very small town. Everybody knows everybody's name, but don't do it. Just know that people will see and see. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I've had 30 new subscribers in the last like 7 days, you know? So, you know, the actual numbers of happy people don't matter to me. It's just that there are happy people. And that's cool to me. I mean, it's a big world. And, you know, if you think about it, to even have just 50 random people watch you, that's awesome. You know, what happened? They just want me to tell. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, but I did want to, like, when I found out there was like all this hurt, I was like, that's horrible. I would never want to do that. So, you know, I did want to kind of say, you know, if anybody was hurt by anything that went down, I'm sorry. I would never, I mean, people who know me know, I would never want somebody to be hurt by anything I said or did. You know, if anyone ever came to me and, you know, said, oh, you made this video and it hurt my feelings, I would delete it. You know, I mean, you know, I remember when KK first like talked to me, she like was not really, she didn't really get the point of the videos. It was like an homage to Pittsburgh, but she like didn't really get it yet. And, you know, I was like, if you want me to get, like, I can get rid of it, you know, I don't want it, but it's not meant to be mean. It's meant to like, you know, well, thank you that I'm likable. I mean, you know I'm kind of a, I don't know. I'm not a gray area girl. I never have been. I am a strong personality. I'm confident. I've had a lot of people tell me I'm intimidating, and I just know I come off really strong. So people either really like me or they really hate me. Like there's usually no in between. Like there aren't people who are just like, oh yeah, I heard. You know, there are people who are like, oh yeah, or there are people like, oh God, no. You know, and that's how it's been my whole life. So that's totally fine. That's totally fine. You know, it's not news to me. Like I know who I am. I've lived with myself for 52 years, you know? I mean, but I'm not worried about the people who don't. I didn't come on here to like become some mega influencer. I came on here because I'm don't work and my kids are getting older and I kind of had an idea and I wanted to do something and it was fun. It's a hobby. Like, do you sit and go so you can be popular and make money? No, this is a hobby. You know, it's just, you know, knowing that, you know, it's like when I take in feral cats, you know, and I see them grow and learn to love and trust. It's like, you know, there's satisfaction in making someone happy. I mean, and that's the other thing I don't understand. Hold on. Oh, I made a chai tea. It's so damn good. But I don't understand people who intentionally want to hurt other people. I don't get that. You know, to make a live just saying things specifically to hurt someone, I don't really get that. Like someone told me I had someone comment and they're like, you just made that video because you're so triggered because someone said you're average looking. First of all, I had no idea the person said that. Second of all, how immature is that? I mean, how immature is that? Like, first of all, if you've actually listened to me, I'm not the one who ever brought up my external features. Other people did, and I just responded. But that's not what matters. I mean, I'm 52. I'm, you know, unless I live to 105, I've lived 52 years. I'm probably not going to live more than another 52, you know? So I'm more than halfway. Like, I'm going to get older, you know? I'm going to get all wrinkly and, you know, get crunchy and have weird, you know. I've been with my husband for 20 years. I don't care that's not what's important. I mean, you know, I'm going to be with my husband when I'm 90. It doesn't matter what we look like. So it's like the idea, first of all, that someone would need to go talk about another woman who they're complete strangers to. They're not friends. They don't talk. They don't know each other, just complete strangers, and just have to be like, oh, but she's average looking. Like that, that's just one woman who is a petty little bitch who wants to say something because they think, that's good. I don't care. I've never looked at myself and tried to rate myself. I mean, like I said, I've been married for 20. I don't think about life that way. I mean, that's not what's important. Like, what's important is hanging out with Sam and getting purrs and like, who freaking cares about that? I don't. It's why I've opened every live and every video with, yeah, people's opinions of me are none of my business. That's why I don't watch it. But now I forgot what I was going to say. But I just don't care about that kind of stuff. I really don't. I never have. But, that's what I was saying. That's why I start every video off with hello, beautiful people. Because I want people to know and women to know that they're beautiful no matter what. Like, it's not about here, it's about what's in here. So everybody's beautiful and all women are beautiful. And all women should help all other women feel that they're beautiful too. Yeah. And do any of these people who talk about me ever cam up? And that's not saying anything about anybody's looks. It's just, to me, a confidence issue. Like, it's hard for me to take someone seriously who I can't look into their eyes. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just weird. But when someone is saying something and I can't look into their eyes, it's hard for me to give them credibility. It's like someone voting like a secret vote. It's like you can't stand up for your opinions. So if I walk down the street and pass you, I won't know that you're the one who, voted for this. It's like you don't believe in yourself strong enough to be able to stand up for what you believe in and like let everyone know it. You have to like hide and say it. I mean, so I don't notice. No one else cams up. It's like I could not cam up too. I could hide behind my screen. But again, that's kind of not what I came here to say. What I came here to say, wouldn't it be awesome if one of them, I know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like if you watch like everything I've ever done is like, other than responding to petty bitches who talked about me, like I've never, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I love beautiful women, and that's beauty on the inside as well as outside. I mean, the beauty on the inside is way more important. Like I said, I'm 52. I mean, it's all downhill from here. It's all downhill from here. But I enjoy getting older. I'm wiser. I know things, and it would be great. And that's why when someone said, someone wrote in a comment, oh, you're just triggered because you heard this one said you're average looking. One, no, I didn't. Two, I feel bad for that person. I feel really bad for that person. That's what they need to say to feel better about themselves. And the person they said it was is someone, I've never started anything with. They've just gone after me forever. They just don't like me. And that's just like a little like high school thing to say. Oh boy, the homework. Oy vey. Oy vey. Yeah. I have a ton of boys' clothes that are like brand new. We should talk if you need anything. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like my oldest son, he's like, takes after me. He just like every 2 months, he's like wants a new wardrobe. He's a very expensive child. He like loves clothes, and he got clothes and the cool people go away and then ask you ones. But yeah, it's just it. I mean, it's just, it saddens me. It really saddens me that like we are the people who really, oh my gosh, my son just got into 9th grade. He was the valedictorian of junior high. So I think he probably will get into that, but I don't think they've done it yet. I think your son's like a year older than mine, or maybe a year older than one of them. I forget. See, the whole 2024 is like a little blurry to me. Like October is like, and November's, but like I said, people wanted to apologize and know the truth. And I could sit here till I'm blue in the face and tell you that I'm sorry for anyone hurt. But here is the truth. Yeah, 1 year older. I thought so. I knew it was older than one of them. Couldn't remember which. But I mean, I can't, the first live I did, I said, without saying specifics, the same thing. I said, I was rushed to intensive care and I was there for a while. And then I was in the hospital for like 3 weeks. And then I came home in December. And obviously there was something wrong with me. And, it is pretty cool. Smart kids are good. Kids are weird these days. Like, I mean, when we were kids, we just went outside and ran until it got dark. And now kids socialing, like it's like a social thing being on the internet together. Like my son and his friends, they'll like hang out and they're on Discord and they're doing something online. And it's like, that's an actual way of socializing and communicating now. Like it's almost like just as equal to going out and hanging out. They like hang out, it's crazy. I don't know. COVID screwed up this whole generation. Like they're all like awkward socially because they had years of having no one around them during their pivotal growing years. It's kind of, I don't know. Like, this is a generation that's going to take care of me when I'm like 80, 90. And I'm a little scared because they're a little not so together. I mean, some of them can't even read a clock. It's kind of ridiculous. I asked my son about changing a tire the other day and he's like, what? How do you? I was like, oh my gosh, I got to really show these kids something. Like, I was like, do you know how to pump your own gas? And he's like, what? Do you guys remember when you had to pay more to get your gas? And like there was a time when you didn't pump it. You weren't even allowed to pump it. And then they went to the thing where it was like, it was cheaper if you pumped it yourself. And it was like, ooh, who's going to be daring and pump their own gas? And it was like, wow, you were a rebel if you pumped your own gas. It's not good. I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. We all are guilty of talking a little shit. No one here has never dogged someone. I mean, I feel really bad. I dogged Linny. It was Linny troll, but I saw Linny saying something mean to me. And I was just, at that point in my life, I was just getting like boom, boom, boom of people like talking shit. And so I just like saw the name, figured out the meanest thing I could say and said it. And I feel really bad because, I mean, I can be your best friend, but I can be your worst enemy. Like if I'm going to go for the jugular. So I'm like, what's the meanest thing I can say? Let's say it. You hurt me, I'll hurt you. Like I'm Italian. So enough said. But like, I feel really bad that I said that to the fake Linny, because that's not how I roll. But again, that's the thing that happens when you're surrounded by all this negative energy. It grows and it feeds on itself. So here I am getting all these people coming in like, hey, you're this, you're that, da, da, da. And then, Linny comes in and says it, and I spout off something completely horribly mean. And it wasn't even her. And I care for Linny. I always have. I always will, and I feel so bad that I did that to her, but that's what happens when you surround yourself with toxicity. Toxicity comes out. You never pumped your own gas. Wow, you are lucky. Does do they actually have people who pump gas for you at stations now? Like I've never seen where someone pumps your own gas, like a gas station where someone comes out and pumps your own gas. I mean, I live in a small town. There's a gas station here, and like if you wave the guy, he'll do it for you. But I mean, like that's just a weird like small town thing. Small towns are interesting, but YouTube is not. YouTube can be very toxic if you listen to it. If you look at it, it can be very toxic. And so that's why people are like, oh no, we know she looks at stuff. Why? Why would I? What makes you think I would? It would not be healthy for me to start reading all that, because it's incredibly hurtful, especially considering, they're talking about someone who, very easily could not be here. I was very, very sick. If you want to say it's not what I actually had and it's something else, whatever, you're still talking about someone who almost died and was hospitalized for a very long time and was very sick. Like, you're still talking about someone who is still basically recovering. I mean, I still don't have all my strength back, because it becomes easy. Oh, I get it. But now I feel like, but no matter what you think, you're still talking to someone who is still getting back to being full health, and you're trying to like crucify this person. I mean, where's any empathy? It's like, I mean, not that I'm asking for it. I'm not asking for any, and I'm not trying to be the victim, because I'm not. I'm just saying everybody has a right to do what they want and say what they want, but it really shows who you are when, even if you think, oh, they don't really have cancer, they really have, shingles, whatever, bad example, but whatever, they're still really sick, and that's probably not the best time to go after them. I mean, all you have to do is look at me. I was obviously very, very sick, and I mean, I would hope that you believe me, but I don't think people, because that's just not how people roll. I mean, there's a certain sector of people who just want to think I'm like this epitome of Satan, and that's what they believe, and nothing's ever going to change that. And that's totally fine. I've accepted that. I mean, it's really sad, but whatever. I'm not here to like, try and change, I'm just here to, people want, so here you go, and then it can be done. But it's really sad to me that anybody could see another human being who was obviously sick and suffering from whatever and feel the need to go after them at their obvious lowest, under the guise of saying, we're trying to help. We're trying to help. We just want to get her to do this. Like, why do I need, like, that's another thing. Like, why do I need to do anything for anyone else? Oh, the bitching post. But what was the first one? Shoot, I can't remember the first one. The tavern. Oh my God, that took a lot to remember. God, that shows where my brain is. Yeah, the tavern, and then the bitching post. Are they still around? I mean, like, I honestly have not tried to, so I don't know. Are they still? I love the tavern. That was so much fun. But like I said, I'm staying away from anything. So I watch my shark eating videos and my pimple poppery videos, and I don't. Someone's walking around above me. I hear someone, but I don't know. I think we would be a lot better society if we just kind of started giving people a little more consideration and empathy for being a human being. Like, you don't have to like someone to just consider them a human being who's valuable enough to give basic human consideration to. I mean, that's it. Like, you should see someone ill and have the decency not to try and hurt them. you know, if you saw, it's like if you saw a very overweight girl going up to her and telling her she's fat, knowing that that would just catapult her self-esteem into the bottom depths of the ocean and just probably cause her some sort of trauma. You know, I mean, it's like when you see people in a certain situation, common decency usually gets us to act with some sort of decency. And I feel like, and again, I'm not saying I'm a victim or anything, but I feel like that was kind of lost in my situation. Like, it doesn't take, I love pimple popping. I saw one where they had bot flies and they were, it was just bot, it's horrible. But that's kind of what we're lacking in society now. And part of it is probably because we can hide behind computers. And it's like, nobody knows me. You know, even if I walked past you in the street, you couldn't recognize me. You know, you're totally camouflaged. You can say whatever you want. You can be whatever you want. You know, you can go on and be like, I'm a 7th degree black belt and I have, you know, I'm an astrophysicist who, you know, you can make up any diatribe you want about yourself online and you can be it. So, you know, someone who maybe younger days didn't have confidence, can like suddenly be like this big badass, like you can be whatever. And I think people do that, you know, and they can like live out their fantasy. You know, if they're having a bad day, they can take it out on someone else. I mean, I can't imagine like in the real world, someone, you know, being obviously ill and like other people like just calling the person, like complete strangers calling the person and being like, you don't really have cancer, you're, you know, and just like yelling at them. Like, person's obviously not together. Like, just, I'm going to say something that I'm pretty sure will hurt them. Why? Like, you know, she needs to answer. Like, I don't need to answer to people who hate me. Why would I answer to people who hate me? Like, you know, like the logic just isn't there. The logic just isn't there. So, you know, again, I'm really sorry if anybody, you know, had hurt feelings about anything. I certainly would never try to do that. So it's a sad, you know, kind of casualty of war that people got hurt. But at the same time, they got hurt because they believed a version that wasn't the truth. You know, for everything I've heard, you know, people saying that are like these, you know, this is proof, you know, every single thing that anyone has told me, I'm like, oh, well, no, like, here's what it, and it's like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Like, you know, someone told me, and people are like, oh, you know, she drove to, who would drive? You would have an ambulance. Okay, well, I'm 4 minutes away, and the ambulance, 911, calls the hospital gets the ambulance together, ambulance drives to my house, ambulance gets me, ambulance, 15 minutes at least. 4 minutes, 15 minutes. Oh, that makes perfect sense why she drove. Why did she take her thing on her toe? Oh, she's got those nails. It can't go through the acrylic and read a thing. Oh, and the doctor did it. Oh, you know, everything I've said that people are like, oh, that's it. You know, she didn't show her medical records. Privacy. Why would I? You know, like, you know, things taken out of context, words taken out of context, you know, just no understanding of the fact of, you know, people are emotional, you know, my family thinks, you know, and, you know, it's just a shit show. It's just a shit show. I'm sorry for that, but at the same time, there was nothing I could have done to prevent it. And You know, you can believe me, you cannot. I mean, that's up to everyone for themselves. I think it's really sad if people who supposedly knew me then believe all the, I mean, the whole substance thing was just started by Hopi because she just was going after me, and it caught on because that's so salacious. What better thing to call like a stay-at-home mom than like, it's just salacious, so people use it. I mean, if you listen, everybody gets called that. Every single everybody gets called that. Everybody. So that's where it comes from. So, again, I would love to be the poster child for how well it works, but I'm not. And to be honest, I think if that was what happened, I probably wouldn't be doing so well, because I've known people who have done that and they didn't just like come out the first time and be like, woo, I got it. Like everybody, I had one friend, she went like 3 times, she's still going to this day, I mean, very few people, it's not like I'm going to go get, knee surgery and I'm going to walk in. Well, thank you, Hush Pup. I mean, I try to be level-headed, I mean, she did. I mean, she was my bestie. I loved her. We had so much fun, and it broke my heart when I found out she was behind everything. But she's the one who started that rumor. She's the one who started the whole, FBI. Like she wanted to take me out, and she started all this stuff, and some of it caught on because it makes a really good story. It makes a really good story, And, I'm sorry that I was cuckoo in the membrane there in October, but my brain wasn't getting no oxygen. I don't even remember it. I have no memory of that. None. Not none. I don't really have memory of that whole week. I don't have memory until like November, So if I said something, I'm sorry. But, exactly. Drama does sell. And that's why, like, I don't, I would much rather talk about things that make me happy and make other people happy and have a much smaller channel than talk about all these things that just brings about anxiety and hatred and ill feelings and toxicity and just gets you in a negative mindset and like be uber YouTuber. I mean, it's just, would you rather have a calm, peaceful life or a hectic, chaotic life fighting? Well, I think everyone would take the calm life. And it's like, what do you desire more? The calm life or the popularity? Everyone says I'm so like da-da-da-da, but yet I'm actively taking the approach of like bowing out of drama and like going the small way because that's what I want to do, because it's, like I just want to come out here and be positive and talk to people and, say some things that make sense and talk about things going on and, have a good time. I don't want all this crap. And I think a lot of people don't want this crap. And it's funny because a lot of people say they don't want the crap, but then they keep going to the crap. Like all the people who, I've been told were like talking, they're all the people who I've also heard say, I hate drama. I hate drama. I can't stand this. I can't stand that. But yeah, they're some of the first people to like go over and listen to the drama. It's like secretly most people really like it. I mean, it's something to do. It's salacious. It's tantalizing. I mean, I am, if anyone got hurt for any reason, like I feel badly for that. I would never want my actions to hurt another person. Like that makes me feel really bad. I mean, there's nothing I did or didn't do, I think, that did that. But at the same time, I feel badly that people were hurt. I mean, all I did was have a severe problem and have a shit show of a life, and then go off and get better and come back and not look at anything and just do my own thing and make some videos without listening to anything around me. And, me almost dying hurt people because they want to say, oh, this isn't this and this isn't that. And it's like, as much as you want to say that, prove yourself right. Prove yourself. Don't just say it. I mean, everything can be looked both ways. Why would I think you're a liar? I mean, I don't get it either. I mean, all the people who started the whole, you're lying, are people who had been going after me prior. So it's not like, like suddenly my best friend turned on me. It's like all the people who hated me found an avenue. I mean, what better story I was a shit show. I was a mess. I mean, that's major drama. Me, myself, just in a little bubble was drama because I was like, cuckoo in the membrane. Like, I wasn't getting enough oxygen. I wasn't thinking straight. I don't remember it. I mean, I was a clusterfuck in a can. Totally. That shit sells. Like, crazy old Blondie over there is freaking out of her mind. That's some drama. That's, yeah, who doesn't want to talk about that? That's, that's fun until you consider there's a real person under there who has real thoughts and feelings and actually is, on her deathbed, and you're trying to bring her down for drama. Like, that's, I don't know. That is the sign of not a good person, I think, personally. But that's just me. I mean, I remember when there was another creator who was proven to lie about something, and at the same token, they were very sick during the time of their lying. And I remember, like, I would have never thought of being mad at them. I mean, in fact, I told the person, I'm here for you no matter what. Like, I don't care. I just want you to be okay. I mean, and that's my approach. So, like, I don't care. You're a human being. You're fucked in the head right now because you're not getting oxygen in your brain. So you're saying some cuckoo shit. But whatever. You're a human and you're sick and now you're better. And that's good. Like, that's good. That's okay. Let's move on. I mean, let's say it was your best friend even. Would you be like, I need to see your medical records? Your best friend comes up to you. Oh, I'm so upset. I can't. You're like, I need to see your PET scan. I won't believe you have cancer until you show. Like, would you ever tell your friend, I need receipts? What do you mean you're getting married? I need receipts. I need to see you buying the dress. Like, when people really are in a community and care for each other, they don't need receipts to prove themselves right. Like, when you're really associated with someone, you just take the other person's word for it. Like, if they say, I'm sick and this is what I'm sick for, you believe them because you're in a community. And that's how you treat people in a community. You don't automatically think you're a liar unless you prove it. It's not real unless you have a receipt. I mean, in the real world, things are real unless proven wrong. On YouTube, things are wrong unless proven right. It's nonsensical, which is why I'm jumping the ship from all that craziness. Like, I don't want to be part of any of that. I don't want to be part of the drama. I'm not going to do roasts about people. Like, I'll still do comedy stuff, but it's not going to be about people. It's going to be about general things, ideas, topics, social events. I mean, just, like, if people think they're going to, like, trigger me, I saw, like, a little mention. Someone had a post and was like, you're so triggered, and I didn't read any more than that. But it's like, if you watched my last live, I don't think I really acted triggered to anyone. I mean, I think everyone who said something to me, I was just like, oh, sorry, bye. I mean, triggered, like, you're yelling, you're screaming, you're getting upset. It's like, well, if you watch, I think I was just like, sorry, clicked your butt. That's not being triggered, and I think before, it is a tactic. I mean, let's face it. people like drama. We all watch soap operas. We all like salacious movies. That's my word of the day, salacious, I think. But we all like it to some extent. But when it involves real humans who you're hurting and you don't have enough decency to stop, even if it's a stranger, like that's just karma, you know? Yeah. I mean, that, you know, and that's why I think, even though, you know, I've said as much as I can say without really, I think, divulging personal information or family information, you know, I've explained as much as I can exactly what happened. You know, I'm not gonna say specifics of any, like, who goes out there and is like, I have, you know, blah 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 and explains all that. You know, I'm not gonna do that to, like, on the internet. Like, that's just crazy that people even think that. But I have a feeling that this will change nothing. Yeah, I mean, I am sorry if anyone was hurt, but I can't really take that responsibility because I didn't do anything. I mean, other people blew this into something and started trying to tear everything apart and made it into this big spiel that it didn't need to be at all. It's like, just stop talking about someone who's ill. Like, that's all that needed to happen. This person is ill, stop talking about them, because it's a sketch situation. The person, you know, at a certain point, I wasn't necessarily expected to make it. You know, it's like, this is a fragile situation. You don't need to be trying to, like, go after this person right now. Common decency. Common decency. I mean, I'm glad I wasn't conscious and couldn't hear any of it, because, you know, I mean, no matter who you are, you know, even if you don't care, it's still hurtful to think somebody misjudges you so badly, to hate you so, like, you know. And it's not just like a little thing. Like, when I would do roast about people, it was very light and like, ha ha, you know. But some people are really like, you're like really aggressive and mean, like a meanness that it's like, I can't believe you can be so mean to someone you don't even know. You would think, you know, to be angry, you have to have some sort of emotion. You know, anger is a secondary emotion to another emotion. You know, anger never just starts. You're usually either hurt or you feel used or, you know, whatever. There's another emotion that comes before anger. So I just don't really understand the connection of some people to just be so angry about somebody so far removed from their life. Like, how can people, like, be so, like, I've heard things in the past, it's like, how are you so angry about me? Like, just swearing and cursing and look shaming, but like, rah, rah, rah. And it's like, how on earth? Because, you know, you can't rah, rah, rah like that and then just click end stream and just get up and be like, hi everybody, let's go watch a movie. Like, you've still got that anger in your head, whether it's in the forefront or not. Like, you can't yell and bitch and tear someone down for hours and then sit up and be like happy, bubbly, lovey, touchy feely. Like, you've got some negativity and some toxicity in your mind that you brought into your mind. Like, the rest of the evening, you're going to have some of it still there. You know, it's like, you're just a bit of an angry person. You know, like, it takes a lot for me to get that angry, to vent that much about someone, especially on the internet, to just really like, rah, 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 like that. I mean, and there's no way you just turn that off. Like, you just 1 minute are like aggressive little pit bull, and then you sit up and you're like a cute little bunny rabbit. Like, you still got that energy around you, and you're taking it in with your family or going out or whatever. So it's like, just get rid of the negativity. Life is so much better when you're happy and positive and loving to people around you. I mean, I did errands today and I said hello to every single person I saw, opened the door for old ladies, you know, I live in a small community too, though, so, you know, it's just, but still, I mean, just people are just nice to each other. Like, that's one thing about California, or at least small town California. Like, everybody's nice to each other. You know, if someone drops something, a stranger will pick it up for you. Like, if real life was YouTube was here, you know, someone would drop something and someone would be like, oh, you're high, you're a drug addict because you dropped that, and punch him in the face. You know, like that would be the kind of, if YouTube was in real life, like, you know, someone would like accidentally cut you off on the road and you would follow them and go to their house with a gun and like pistol with them, you know, like that's basically the equivalent. But anyway, it's almost 4, so I'm gonna go hang out with my little boys. So we just finished Cobra Kai. Awesome. And we're starting on Squid Games, and I'm watching The Recruit on Netflix. Very good. Very good. But that's it. Like, if that doesn't satisfy people, I mean, I don't even know why I do this. It's silly. But I do want to say I'm sorry to anyone who was hurt. I would never intentionally do that. But at the same token, you know, you know, take it or leave it. If you are anti-OG, fine. Just do it somewhere else. Like, do it somewhere else. You don't need to you don't need to do that. You don't need to call me names. You don't need to say I'm doing illegal. You don't need to try and ruin my name. You don't need to do all that. I mean, you can try if you want. I don't really care. But I mean, it's just so icky and beneath where we should be as humans and adults and women. So that's really all I can say. I mean, that's the truth. I don't know what else to tell people. You know, I'm sorry it got crazy. I'm sorry if people took a lot of things the wrong way, read into things this way, looked for things that way. But at the end of the day, I was a very sick person, and I had a really long time to getting better, and now I'm better. And that should just be good. Okay, move on. Move on. I really shouldn't need to do anymore, right? Okay, good. Maybe I'll call you when I go to Tahoe, because there's not, you know, it's kind of, you get a lot of time on your hands when you don't have, like, you know, the internet really. Oh, you're way behind. I always love when people are like totally behind, and it's fun. But anyway, I like no more addressing it. Like, that's, you know, yeah, like that's why I'm not watching it, because I don't need to see that. Like, I don't need to see that. It's just toxic for me. Like, you know, just not going there. So from here on out, this was kind of a bleh live. It was like bleh, like bleh. But I said it. I don't know what more I can say to people. I'm, you know, pink. I didn't know anyone was hurt. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Oh, now I've got 2 of me. Damn it. I don't know how I got 2 of me. But anyway, I was getting ready to go anyway. But yeah, I'm just going to focus on the happiness of life and doing fun things, and that's the end of it. If you don't believe, don't believe, but talk about it somewhere else because it doesn't need to be here. I know, I did disappear. The fires aren't anywhere near close to me. We had an earthquake like a week ago. That was really, it was like 5.0. It was just, but I know it sounds weird when someone says that, oh, we had an earthquake. It was just, but there are no fires. We had, 2000, like fire like 50 feet from it, but we're good now. But anyway, what I enjoy are the people who support me. And that I don't care if there's 5 of you or 500 of you. I am here for that. That's what I'm here for. People who support me, people who are like-minded, people who want to talk about the same things, positive people who want to do something different, who want to get out of this whole, dumb grind. So thank you, Daily Meander. And like I said, I don't care. The numbers aren't a concern, because I know creators like to be all like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I felt the earthquake. Oh yeah, I was sitting here and, you kind of look around, like you feel something. It's kind of like when a cat's on your bed and they scratch themselves really fast and, everything moves. But you look around and other things, like the chandelier is moving, the TV, and you're just like, oh, it's not just me moving, the world is moving. And that's when you're like, oh, shit, crap. Well, thank you. Hopefully, at least I just look better than before. Because, whew, that was no... See, that's how you tell someone's sick. They look like shit. They look like shit. I don't even remember October. I mean, I really don't. It's probably good that way. Because October is just a shit show. It's an absolute shit show. But it's a new me. I'm out with the old, in with the new. I just want to move forward. We're going to do fun stuff. We're going to talk about good things. We're going to be positive. We're going to lift people up. And we're not going to do the drama, pettiness. But not doing drama doesn't mean it's boring. This was kind of boring because I was talking about dumb stuff. Like, probably like the worst life ever, talking about crap. But from here on out, it's going to be fun stuff. So, and maybe that's not as like woo-woo as the drama stuff, but it's much better for me. I would rather be small and happy than big and miserable. That's just me. And if people want big and miserable, they're more than welcome to it. But I mean, I'm sad to see so many people just like, but when someone shows you who they are, they do. And I'm sure there are plenty of people who say that about me. Oh, back at, that's fine. If you think of me that way, then probably wasn't going to work anyway. Like anybody who could think that of me probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. Just saying. But anyway, I love you guys because you guys could spend anywhere you want to this wonderful Wednesday afternoon, but you're here and you're hanging out and we're well, this wasn't really fun. This was kind of like I had to do it and it kind of sucked, but from here on out, it'll be good. Yeah. Bear in mind. Yeah. I mean, there are people you talk to, like who you talk to and you kind of have a relationship. And then there are people who like you don't talk to at all. The only interaction is hateful. They're stranger, like more than a stranger. Like the little bit that you know them is complete hate. Like that's even worse than a stranger, And then those people are like, you owe us this. You need to, how dare you think you're going to get away with? What would I get away with? Like, I'm just doing my own thing. Like, this isn't, it's just weird. I just think it's weird. It's weird what people expect out of other creators. It's weird what people think they can say or do, or that other people will say or do on you. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. Like lately, I've been trying to apply the real world to YouTube. Like, oh, if you think you should do this on YouTube, apply that situation in real life. And it's like in real life, it's like, you would never do anything like that. But that would be crazy to even think of. So anyway, that's all I have to say today. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. This is probably the suckiest live ever because it was sucky material. But I do want to say I'm sorry to anyone who was hurt That was never my intention. I'm sorry things got crazy, but you know, I can't really say any more than I have, and you either believe it or you don't. And if you don't, it was really fun knowing you, but I guess it's time to take a time out, right? Well, I love you guys. I love you guys. And that you guys are who I do this for. I don't do this, you know, and that's all that matters to me. As long as there's one person who likes me, I'll still do it. Actually, if nobody liked me, I'd still do it because I would put Sam in front of me. And as long as Sam meowed, I'd be happy because at least Sam liked me. So anyway, I love you guys. I'm going to Tahoe. Maybe I'll do a live next week for something. I don't know. But anyway, I got some fun stuff planned. So have a great night. Have a good hump day. And I will talk to you later. Thank you for coming and being normal. And I promise the next live will not be as annoying and sucky as this one. Promise. All right? Bye. I love you guys. Thank you to those who support me. And if you don't, please just kindly be decent. Okay? All right. Bye, you guys. Bye. I will email everybody who I need to email. I will email you today. I love you guys. Bye.